welcome back. We are here with two representatives to talk about our Staff Appreciation Fund. We have Lisa Borum and Doug Franklin. Lisa, why don't you start?
Well, I am an hourly employee here at Green Spring, and I work in the fitness center, and I've been at Green Spring over 12 years, and obviously I love working here because I've been here over 12 years.
We're happy to have you.
Yes, but I just want the residents to know that all the hourly employees really, really appreciate the Staff Appreciation Fund, especially at this time of year when so many of us, have children, and with the holidays coming up and different expenses, and it really means a lot.
Everything helps.
It really does. So
yes.
I just want them to know how greatly we appreciate. They're so generous with their funds and sharing their stories with us in the fitness center. So
right.
yeah, we just love the residents here. So.
And Doug, you're here from the Resident Life Subcommittee.
Yes.
And you're actively encouraging residents to donate.
Right. Susan, it's been, we're really appreciative of the residents, especially this year. We raised the goal to $295,000. And we were hoping that we would surpass it, and we have.
Wonderful.
That's the good news. And the residents, thank you so very, very much, because it means an awfully lot, like Lisa just told you, to the hourly employees. We have more of them this year, and so we raised the goal from last year. And so I'm happy to say, as of last night, we were at $304,000
wow.
and $3,004 and $444 on top of that. So we surpassed it by about 2%, and so we're very, very happy, and all of you deserve a big thank you. And
but that doesn't mean that if you would like to still donate, that your contributions would not be gladly accepted.
Gladly accepted. Any time to the front desk, you can put them in there. They'll be collected, and believe me, we really, really appreciate your enthusiasm and your assistance in reaching the goal and surpassing it. And as Susan said, you still may contribute. We're very happy if you would. And if you have forgotten or would like to rethink it, like several people have told us that they went back home and rethought how much they actually save in not having to tip. And so who gets that money? Well, the hourly employees are still doing their job to support the residents, and so it really is up to the residents to make sure we're being fair with the hourly employees. And I think that's an important point. And we really, really are very appreciative of it. And I would like to encourage something that has kind of new this year, and that is the monthly plan. You can arrange the monthly contribution plan with the finance office, and they will arrange for you to have so much taken out or added to your monthly bill. And that has been a good, for my wife and I tell you, it's a lot better giving monthly than it is a chunk at the end. Mm-hmm. And I think it gives you a fairer chance to resolve how much really you really would like to contribute. And like I say, speaking from experience, it does work and it is helpful. And again, like I say, we still accept contributions, and we also want to make you aware of the monthly fund, which you can do with the finance office's help. And again, thanks a lot.
I would just, as I walk down the hall here today, and I would ask all of you residents to do this, as I walk down the hall from my building to here today, I thought how many employees I passed in the hall that could be possible recipients
right.
of donations from this fund, and thought, okay, as I gave my donation, was I thinking of how many monthly employees we have who were possible recipients from this fund?
Right.
That there are so many of them that help us and support us on a daily basis
right.
throughout the year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That this is a wonderful opportunity for us to say thanks.
It really is. And I'd also, Susan, you mentioned a very good point. We, on the 12th of, can't read my own notes here. On December 12th, we will be having distribution of the checks. We're going to have two check giver-outers on the 12th. One will be in the Hunters Crossing Conference Center, and the other will be in the
Garden Ridge.
And we'll be passing out the checks. You're all welcome to come if you would like. I'm sure there'll be additional information on times and all that, but you're encouraged to come, and I know
December 12th.
December 12th.
We'll look forward to it.
Thank you, Susan.
Yeah. Thanks, Lisa. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and thank you, Doug, and we'll look forward to this. And thanks to all residents for your donations. And if you would like to get a little extra, we encourage you to do so. And we'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back. In this segment, I welcome Kimberly Nelson, our Director of Philanthropy.
Good morning.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Good to be here today.
I'm glad you're here. Tell us what's happening in philanthropy.
Well, there is lots going on in philanthropy, always, and at Green Spring. So today, in case you've missed it, the food drive starts today. As you see on your screen, it goes through Friday, and they're collecting food in the lobbies. Also, so canned goods, box goods, even toilet paper, fresh toilet paper rolls, tissue boxes, anything like that.
And this is the ECHO food drive. What is ECHO?
Yeah, so ECHO is a local nonprofit. It's an ecumenical group where they have a food bank as well as clothing and services for folks in need to be able to pick up things they may need. And so Treasure Chest also, when they have goods that haven't sold, we send our clothing to ECHO as well.
Oh, that's good.
We continue to repurpose, but at this time of the year, we're always looking for where the food shelves seem to run a little low. And so if you have a can or two of something you can donate, we just encourage and invite residents to please do that.
The good part about ECHO is it is right here in our community.
It is. And we end the food drive on Friday, which is also when the Turkey Trot has their walk as well. So there's just lots going on this week.
So if I have food that I would like to donate to ECHO, I can take it where?
To any front desk lobby, so Village Square, Hunters Crossing, Town Center, or Garden Ridge.
And there will be a basket there to put it in?
Yes, there'll be a basket, and then ECHO will come pick them up Friday morning.
And this should be canned goods or non-perishable goods?
Yes, please.
Or toilet paper or Kleenex or
yes,
something that someone might need.
Correct. That would be perfect. So that's going on. And then as we just finished Veterans Day, I really wanted to remind our residents that there are a lot of veterans scams that also seem to come up at this time of year.
Can you give us some
And
examples?
so, yep. So some of those where they seem to really target our veterans related to scams where they say, we want to update your military file. And we need you to give us this information, and your credit card can be involved. So, never ever give anything over the phone, period. We always say, look up the number and call that organization yourself. But the updating your military file or giving to a charity that supports veterans. And sometimes charities may sound alike or very similar. And if it's not one that you're not 100% sure of, then I would say, thanks but no thanks, I've already given.
That's very good advice.
And then you give to the ones you are really sure of. And then there's also one with medical things where they call it Veterans Choice. So they're again saying they're with the VA. It has to do with health insurance. Anytime you get a call, I would say the best advice is to not give any information. Thanks but no thanks. Not interested. And then if you really are interested, look up the number. Work with your social worker if you're not sure. get the right information, and then verify.
And there are ways to look online to check out these groups and find out what percentage of the monies that are donated actually go to help someone. Sometimes it's nearly nothing. Sometimes it's 1 or 2%.
Yes.
And you want to look for the organizations where almost all of the monies that are given are going to help the organization.
Yes, you want to make sure it's going to the group that you really believe in and that they're doing good works with that dollar.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Very good
so
advice.
just a reminder, and of course it's really for all residents, even if it's not a veteran-related scam, even if it's just a scam saying we're a charity from heart or cancer or another
This
organization.
time of year, they're all doing that. I heard a resident just standing in the hall one day. I overheard one resident say to another, "Oh, I've been so busy. I'm just getting so many letters right now asking for donations, and I just have to get them all filled out." And I wanted to say to her, just because someone sends you something in the mail asking for a charity donation doesn't mean you have to respond.
Correct.
And I always say that's why God invented shredders.
Yes.
Better to put those right in the shredder unless you know the organization and know where the money's going. Just because you get it in the mail and just because they send you address stickers or a free notepad or a calendar doesn't mean that you owe them a penny.
Right. And it doesn't mean it's always legitimate.
That's right.
So just they're really good at looking legitimate when they're not. So I would say if you're unsure, do some research. If it's a charity you've given to for 10 and 20 years, then of course you're probably familiar with them and you know what they normally send you, and to continue to do what's good for you.
That's
but
right.
We just want residents to be cautious.
Yes.
The scammers are getting more and more tricky.
Yes.
So just be aware of that. And then the other thing, I'm sort of bouncing around a little bit today, but in January, John Ritzert, who is one of our estate planning attorneys, is going to be coming to Green Spring to do a seminar, and we'll get that information up in January as it gets closer. But I wanted to talk about John Ritzert and the firm of Ritzert and Layton is because John is changing to another firm. And I wanted to sort of just talk about that because I've had some residents come to our office and say, I heard John is leaving. What's going to happen with my will, my trust, my estate planning documents? What do I do? That kind of thing. So I wanted to just sort of clarify. So the firm of Ritzert and Layton, John Ritzert is the attorney doing the estate planning component. The Layton side of the house does non-estate planning components. And so one of the things that John is doing is he is moving to a firm that handles all estate planning. Because as John is also doing his own estate planning for his life and considering when he is going to retire, if he were to retire with the current firm and leave, there's no one there to do the estate planning.
So John's move to a different firm is really for the good of all the people whose estates he has helped.
Yes, so that there will be a team in the future, not that John's going to retire today, but let's just say 5 or 8 years down the road, there is a team of expertise.
So John is not an Erickson employee, but he is a lawyer who has come here to Green Spring to speak many times.
Yes.
And we know that many Green Spring residents do use his services.
Correct.
So this is just to say, hey, if John is your lawyer,
yes,
be aware that you will probably be contacted, that John is moving to a different firm.
Yes.
But he will be taking your records with him.
No.
Okay.
So
that turned out to be a good question.
That's the caveat.
Okay.
So John did recently or is in the process of sending letters to all of his clients. In that letter, there is a form that you must fill out if you want John to take your records to the new firm. Otherwise, they will stay with Layton. And right now, while they have good attorneys, they don't have anyone who will specialize in the estate planning portion. So my thought process, if I was a resident, would be, well, I want John to take my records, so you need to fill out a form. and it was in the letter that you will get from his office. And if for some reason you've misplaced that, then call his office. And if you need the number because you've misplaced that, call me, and I will get you the information.
So that's very good advice. Be
Okay.
sure to read the letters carefully and
Yes.
don't assume, as I did,
Yes.
that your records are going to go with him.
Right. They will not go with him unless you authorize it to do so.
Okay, so if you want to continue with him,
Yes.
watch your mail.
Correct. And then I'm sure we're probably running low
We
on.
have about 4 minutes.
Great, good, because I have 2 other quick announcements.
Okay.
As we hit the end of the year, residents are already asking our office, how much have I given this year in charitable contributions? When am I going to get a statement so I can take it to my tax person? Should I give a little more? You know, sometimes this is the time of the year where your advisor may say, you've given X amount, you should give a little more because it has a tax benefit for you. So those statements for residents who've done charitable contributions to either Benevolent Care Fund, Scholarship Fund, or the Hospice Fund, those statements from the philanthropy office will go in resident cubbies right before Thanksgiving.
So, but it is still not too late if I still want to give to the Benevolent Care Fund or the Hospice Fund or the Scholarship Fund for me to get a tax benefit from them for 2017.
Yes, you can give until December 31st, but we like to get it out about a month before the end of the year because sometimes residents think they've given and maybe they haven't. So it's a good double check, or maybe for some reason we didn't update something correctly at our end and you have something and it helps us get it corrected. So it goes both ways, where you help us to make sure it's right and we help you.
So watch our cubbies sometime before Thanksgiving.
Right before.
In other words, in the next week.
Yes.
We're going to be receiving a statement. Take it out, put it with our tax papers.
Yep, probably about a week from today.
Okay.
And as a reminder, the Staff Appreciation Fund is not a charitable fund, and that one is not tax deductible, and it will not be on the statement because of that. So if you have questions. And then we will also send a notice to residents who might be interested in doing monthly giving for next year. So we have quite a few residents who say, I'd really like to just put $10 a month on my statement every month so that I can then give $100 or $120 to one of the funds. And instead of writing a check, it's a little easier to do $10 every month on their statement. So that we have to have reauthorized every year, because we don't want to assume that you want to just give us money for the rest of your life. We like to make sure it's double checked every year.
Or you might want to increase it for the next year. That would be nice.
That's always nice and appreciated, but whatever the reason, so those statements will go, it's a form that you can fill out if you're interested. So those will also go in cubbies a week from today.
Okay.
For those residents. So it's just a reminder, sort of what I call the year-end updates, and as we get ready for 2018. 2018.
Don't get ahead of ourselves.
Ooh, 2018, that we just sort of get everything ready.
Okay.
I'm just a little discombobulated. My son, for those who know, he is a senior at James Madison.
This is it, the big ending.
He graduates in a month because he's a December graduate. So I'm a little trying to get so many irons in the fire moving.
This is exciting. Aren't you proud of him?
Very proud of him.
And his degree is in what?
His degree is in political science with a minor in psychology, and he is currently doing some job interviews but also applying for law school because he would like to get into George Mason law in the fall of next year.
But if he doesn't, he is prepared to find a job.
Well, his goal hopefully is to work full-time and go to school part-time so that he can spread the cost better and not take out so much in student loans. But we'll see how it all plays.
Because Mom Philanthropy has come to an end.
Yes.
Kimberly, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
And we look forward to seeing you next month.
Can't wait. Thank you.
And thank you, residents. We'll be right back with some updates.